It's almost being idealistic, isn't it? Really,
Ooh,
in
good link.
in a roundabout way, it's being idealistic, but in a nice, facilitated way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we call in the business a segue.
Yeah, there we go. We're trying. So yeah, something we wanted to talk about was that sense that I think the kind of idea of uni is that whatever this kind of drift, this like social drift that goes on, which is when we kind of.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because you said drift and it reminded me of Continental Drift. It's a great Ice Age movie.
Brilliant. I didn't even watch it, so you guys.
Well, there you go. Go watch Continental Drift.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, no, before I lose my track of thought. So, yeah, so that idea of like uni has a drift and it's kind of sending you in this one direction and it's kind of this, kind of like, it just kind of will quietly push you. That sense of not being anchored anywhere, and then you look back and you've drifted like all the way across. So,
You've suddenly spent 3 nights in a row in a club.
Yeah.
And you kind of staring at yourself in a bathroom mirror, saying, "What on earth have I done with my life?"
Yeah, that slightly grey look that starts to come over after too many nights. Yeah, especially if like the middle one was a bit big and you've tried to kind of compromise.
Not that we're speaking from experience.
No, not at all. Yeah. Yeah. Got to be careful, haven't you? Freshers Week. That end of Freshers Week feeling. You kind of every single cough and flu that you've come into contact with in the last couple of days is just kind of slowly eating away at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that drift, the one we were talking about, and our idealistic principles. So, yeah, that sense that actually there's no point of aiming at faith at uni. There's no, so like, okay, I'll just come back to this in 3 years' time, or come back in 4 years' time when I don't have this pressure, and I'll go and make the most of whether it be sports, whether it be doing other things, whether it be even just the sense of my course. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like throw myself into my course, and then I'll go out with my course mates and that'll facilitate my course or anything, and say, okay, what I'll do is I'll put faith on the back burner for 3 or 4 years, and then once I come back into that family environment and whatever, that actually then it will become important. I might just learn a little vocation here and there, and actually I'll work it out then. But now, while I'm doing my history degree, I've got plenty of time on my hands, or got my engineering degree that's taking up too much time, and I want to play sport. Yeah, that sense of, okay, if the drift's this way anyway, I'm just gonna go with it and just see how kind of much I can go into that space. So yeah, why continue to be idealistic, I think, is that kind of thing, and it's a hard one. I think
it is a hard one, because when you go with the drift, sooner or later it very quickly turns into whitewater rafts, and you find yourself flailing about looking for a safety rope. And I feel like it shouldn't get to the point where we need the safety rope. That we should almost put ourselves in a position where we put a net underneath ourselves, and that net is our faith, really. I'm all in on the allegories today.
Yeah.
It's been a good one.
Working on it. No, it's good.
No, it's good.
Little visual images for
little
everyone.
visual images. We can have a little picture of a net. It's a little safety net there.
Yeah. We'll get someone to edit it over the top. I don't think we're at that production level yet.
If you know anybody.
Yeah.
Where were we?
Safety nets.
Safety nets. Yeah.
Catching you.
Yeah, when we're in a position where we have had a bit of a rubbish week, we've got a few deadlines. What is it that's going to centre us? And I feel like this phrase of centering ourselves, it's kind of got a lot of kind of mainstream coverage at the moment with like the whole mindfulness kind of way of thought, and centering yourself is a great way to actually bring your whole life back into focus when everything's a little bit overwhelming. Like, why am I here? What am I doing? Yeah. Not in a scary way.
Yeah. That sounded pretty bleak.
Yeah. Why am I here? Why am I here at 2:30 a.m. writing a 3,000 word essay?
Yeah, that I should have done. I haven't done it. It's for tomorrow morning. Yeah.
But it's great to have the knowledge that you have a safety net of a community as well, that you have either through this network online that that we're trying to create, or through your cathsoc at university or at home, your parish, your priest. It's great to know that you have a community around you that's going to help to elevate you to a position where things aren't going to be as overwhelming. Yeah,
definitely. And also even just that, like, that sense of aiming higher, and so kind of going back to that drift idea, your longshore drift or whatever it was. Ice Age longshore drift.
Continental drift.
Continental, that's the one.
All the geographical words are coming out now.
So the
meanders,
yeah, Oxbow Lakes, that one. It's been a while. Engineering student and like philosophy.
The geography's just colouring, isn't it?
Yeah.
Apologies if you do geography. It's not a real subject.
Geography.
So.
Yeah, we'll see if we get someone from geography on to defend themselves. But yeah, that sense of drift, and the idea that if we don't aim at some kind of ideal, if we don't aim to be something in faith or something in that actually where we might end up at the end of uni is not necessarily kind of in a sense what we would have even thought. I might have thought, okay, if I come into uni, I've got family, I've done a bit of drinking at sixth form. I probably did more than most people did, but I kind of found the faith a little bit. I did my little crisis before uni, so the not crisis. I was having too much fun. That was the problem. I don't know. So that drift and that idea of going when we drift into these we think, okay, I've got my little faith, I've got my Catholic school or parish, I've got a church with my parents, I've got a thing, and if I come out of uni and I've just kind of not really gone to mass, I haven't probably engaged with the culture on a big level, but just let it kind of flow over me. Haven't been to mass, haven't created structure.
Little buzzword.
Yeah, there we go. I feel a bit harsh for a buzzword. I feel like kind of like building and like centralizing.
Yeah.
So but if we don't put those things in place, where we might end up at the end of uni is quite, especially after 3 or 4 years of a life, of like your life, and like relative to the rest of us, like fifth, a quarter, or whatever. So so that sense of drifting, you go, actually, I've come out the end and I've got quite a lot of work to do to get back into almost that routine of faith and that kind of centering. Okay, this is how I'm going to center my week. I've been living for Wednesday night, Thursday night, whichever night you go out, or whichever day is your thing with uni or your society night or whatever. So I've been living for that night, and now I've got to live for what? Because work's rubbish or hard.
Yeah.
I don't have a family that necessarily feels close. I might have moved to a new city after uni. Those friends from uni aren't necessarily around.
And suddenly you can easily find yourself in a place where living for Jesus is something that's
it kind of falls in
extremely remotely away from you. You've been living for Thirsty Thursdays for 4 years of your life, and suddenly Jesus seems the last thing you want to turn to.
Yeah, but also at that point, the only thing and the only way that if brought up cradle Catholic, and probably doesn't apply so much for people who have kind of had to find that slightly before uni, but that sense of so I've moved to a new city, I know 3 or 4 people, whatever, but then I've got work night out, and then I may as well join a church, or I may as well join a and then you see this kind of like this coming back, and there's so many people that we've seen kind of like do that thing of coming back after their kind of crazy uni times, but then so that's my encouragement has been, especially from my experience and watching. Once I've engaged with that community, the amount of reading and like kind of engaging with, call it videos, call it like we sit and watch videos together, or we'll sit and do community. That sense of being almost like that kind of replacing, but in terms of my weekly structure, kind of replacing family on a route in terms of a routine, not replacing family on the spiritual level or the personal level. Like, mom, you're still relevant.
Them out. Get rid of them.
Yeah, but in terms of okay, I'm kind of surrounded by this thing I haven't acknowledged, and now once that's got rid, I feel a little bit kind of like I've lost all my reference points, and then almost bringing those reference points back in, but in more of a mature adult way rather than being prescribed to. It's almost like, okay, this is what I stand for, therefore this is what I'm going to behave in, this is what I'm going to be interested in, this is what I'm going to work towards.